He was the monster the papers described, a hulking former Marine with a quick temper. The eyewitnesses were certain. The jury was convinced. And for 9 years, Kirk Bloodsworth waited on death row for a crime he did not commit, punished for a monster he was not. His freedom would not come from a judge's order or a witness's recantation. It would come from a revolutionary science, still in its infancy, that could read the truth in a single strand of DNA. This is a story of the first innocence, proven by genetics. In 1984, the brutal rape and murder of a 9-year-old girl in Baltimore, Maryland, shattered a community. The pressure to find the killer was immense. Police zeroed in on Kirk Bloodsworth after a tipster said he resembled a man seen with the girl. Witnesses, shown his photo, agreed. They described a man with a bushy mustache and a blonde, straw-like haircut. At trial, the case was circumstantial but powerful. Multiple witnesses placed him with the victim. The prosecution painted him as a fiend. The jury deliberated for only 2.5 hours. The verdict, guilty. The sentence, death. Bloodsworth was sent to Maryland's death row. He told anyone who would listen, "I am an innocent man." But his appeals were running out. The state had its monster. In his prison cell, Bloodsworth found a lifeline in a book. It was about the use of DNA fingerprinting in a British case. A spark of hope ignited. What if this new science could prove what he had been screaming for years? He begged his lawyers to push for testing on the key evidence from his case, the victim's underwear and a stained stick found near the scene. The prosecution fought it, confident it would confirm his guilt. The technique, called PCR DNA testing, was so new it had never been used like this in an American criminal case. Finally, permission was granted. The tiny, degraded evidence samples were sent to a lab. The process was painstakingly slow. For Bloodsworth, every day was an eternity, waiting for a science he didn't understand to decide if he would live or die. The results came back. The lab compared the DNA profile from the crime scene evidence to a sample of Kirk Bloodsworth's blood. They did not match. Kirk Bloodsworth could not have been the source of the semen found on the victim's underwear. It was scientifically impossible. He was innocent. After 9 years in prison, 2 of them on death row, the charges were dropped. The gates swung open. Kirk Bloodsworth walked out of prison a free man, the first American ever exonerated from death row by DNA evidence. The real monster, the true source of that DNA, was still out there. Kirk Bloodsworth's freedom was more than a personal victory. It was a seismic shift in the American justice system. It proved that eyewitnesses could be wrong, that circumstantial cases could be flawed, and that science could serve truth. His case became the catalyst for the Innocence Project and changed laws across the country, giving others the right to prove their innocence through DNA testing. Years later, the actual killer was identified and convicted using the same DNA database that cleared Bloodsworth's name. His story forces us to ask a haunting question. How many others like him are still waiting? How many monsters are just figments of a flawed system? What do you think is the most important lesson from Kirk Bloodsworth's story? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you believe in the power of truth, remember to subscribe and hit the bell, because every case has a clue and every mystery has a key. Until next time,